Do you want to play more than one class in Season of Discovery? Because all the new runes make everything exciting and they change the way we play the game. So with that, you're probably going to want to level up an ult after you've hit level 25 on your main character. And this will also help you figure out what class to main in phase 2 and beyond. So after leveling multiple characters myself, I've come up with all the things you can do to make sure that you level quickly and smoothly. This will make sure that you blast all the way from 1 to 25 in the fastest ways possible. And the very last few tips I have in this video are actually so insanely fast that they're kind of cheating a little bit, but that's not for me to decide. So today I'm gonna break down all of the things you can do to level very quickly on your ults from level 1 to 25. Of course, the rune system is what makes Season of Discovery unique, and every class gets an extremely strong rune for leveling in their starter zone. This can make the leveling experience significantly faster and in general just much more enjoyable. But each class has some of their very best in-slot leveling runes that you might need to go out of your way to get, and if you get these early on, they can double or even triple your leveling speed. I'm talking about runes like Beast Mastery for Hunters, Sunfire for Druids, or Living Flame for Mages that can make it so they can AoE grind all the way up to 25 faster than any other class possibly can. And all of these runes can be grabbed at level 1, but usually they require someone to either summon you or carry you through the experience to make sure that you can get it down. But if you don't want to pay someone to help you get these runes or don't have a friend that's ready to help you get the runes right away, make sure that you make a mental note of where these runes drop for you. So then as soon as you are of a minimum level, you can head over into that direction and get the rune. This can genuinely cut the amount of time it takes to level in half for some classes. And since this probably isn't your first character, we're going to set you up for success. Right as you know which class you're going to be starting, make sure you buy a few bags from the bag vendor. Don't buy them from the auction house, they're way more expensive, and grab a few green weapons. Equipping a green weapon at lower levels can make it so that you 1 or 2 shot every mob you run into. This not only makes leveling significantly faster, but it makes it a lot more enjoyable of an experience if you don't have to sit down and eat in between every fight. And you don't really need to pay attention to the stats on these weapons. Get the cheapest weapon for every 2 to 4 levels, and the mobs will never take too long to kill. If you're a caster, of course, this means grabbing a wand, but again, don't worry about anything too expensive or the stats on it because you will replace all of your weapons very quickly as you're leveling very quickly. And since we're preparing with green weapons, might as well grab the world buff. If you're a Night Elf or Tauren or near the location of Thunderbluff or Darnassus, make sure that you always have the world buff boon of the Black Fathom on you. Not only does this give you some crit, spell hit, spell damage, and attack power, which are all ridiculous for leveling, but by far more important than all of those things, this increases your movement speed by 20%. As you're leveling, you are consistently moving between zones, moving between mobs, and heading between town and wherever your quests are. Having this 20% movement speed buff might singularly be the fastest change you can make to leveling outside of having your absolute BIS runes. Now, whether you're Alliance or Horde, you should know that there is one specific zone you absolutely should level in, and you should focus on getting to that zone as soon as you possibly can. For Alliance, it is much more important than it is Horde, and that is going to be Dark Shore. Dark Shore is by far the best leveling zone in the entire game at lower levels. That is because there are so many quests in this zone, and they are all grouped up in the perfect locations, as well as a ton of free quests that you get just from running up to these beach sea creatures and clicking on them that you can turn in for crazy experience. I'm not kidding, this is the fastest leveling zone for this level bracket. If you are something like an undead, I would suggest heading over to Durotar, doing a couple of the quests there, and then heading directly into the Barrens as soon as you are of a high enough level. Now on our leveling route, we're gonna want to run the dungeons, but you only wanna really run the dungeons 1 time each for all of the quests. If you have every single quest moving into a dungeon, each dungeon can almost get you 2 levels. Not only that, but you can also get some of your pre-best in slot or even best in slot gear in some of these dungeons. So make sure to grab all of the quests and do the dungeon at least once whenever you are of the appropriate level. And if you get lucky and get the right dungeon weapon to drop for you, it is going to massively increase your leveling speed. So just kind of fingers crossed for that. Now, if you're leveling near Ashenvale and your Nova World Buffs is telling you that the Ashenvale PvP event is about to happen, even if you are a low level, I would suggest suggest heading over here and doing it. That's because this event happens at a significantly slower pace than it used to, and you can just be in the zone yourself or try to tag the bosses and you will get a ridiculous amount of reputation. If you do this correctly, even before you're level 25, you can instantly buy things like your best in slot necklace and ring, which help you head directly into the BFD raid, or you can also instantly have a mount to travel around the Ashenvale zone, which is just incredibly convenient. But it is not absolutely necessary, and it will technically detract from your leveling speed. It is just a very efficient way to use your time. And if you want to follow a perfect route or want to make sure that you never miss any of the runes that are near you, then you can always grab the Rested XP add-on. This is an add-on that will not only give you every single detail on which quests you should do next to most efficiently level up quickly, but it will also just give you an arrow that you can follow that will tell you what to do next, and it'll auto-complete all the quests you need to do. This add-on is not free, but you can grab a free trial version of it to try it out for yourself. If you haven't already, just click the link in the description. This is a paid add-on for the full version of the guide, but it will be updated all the way up to level 60. I highly suggest everybody get it personally because you want to know where you can get all of the runes on your ult without having to look it up every time. And it's just really convenient. Buy it once and it'll always be permanently updated as soon as they update it. And since we're not playing on the hardcore version of the game, why not teleport around the world in a more efficient way than just running everywhere? And we can do this with things like death and logout skips. There's an add-on that shows you exactly where the lines are of your death and logout skips. So just grab this add-on, turn it on when you need to, and you can teleport out of almost every single cave in the game just by being slightly off a rock. You can even teleport directly into the BFD raid without having to run through the tunnel. And be aware, until level 10, you don't get any res sickness at all. So if you do this, you will have 0 punishment. And at level 10 through 20, each one level will give you 1 more minute of resurrection sickness. So it is just really efficient to do early on. And now we're going to talk about 2 of the very fastest methods for leveling, but they're also something that is a bit of an ethical dilemma for some people. Whatever it is, if you want to level up extremely quickly and not have to do too much, these are literally the best methods. There's nothing better, not even close. And the first one is to abuse hyper spawns. You've probably seen players on Twitch just farming these crabs out in Westfall forever with a ton of other helpers or hunters with their pets just killing the mobs for them. Well, in any hyperspawn location, the rule is that the game literally will not allow there to be 0 mobs spawned. So if I'm farming these crabs, the second I kill the last crab that is alive, new ones will spawn. So even solo, I can actually clear these out by myself on a hunter or mage and level at twice the leveling speed that it is even possible to do if you are doing questing. And the easy thing about this is it's completely mindless. You can watch Netflix, watch a YouTube video, you can watch me over on Twitch. That's actually a good idea. You should watch me over on Twitch while you do this and zone out and level all the way up to level 25 ridiculously quickly. And as a little tip to make this way easier if you're trying to notice if something spawned, go into your interface, then type names, make sure that all NPC names are turned on, then scroll all the way down and increase the minimum name size to 2. And just look at the difference in the names. You will never miss a crab ever again. And if farming hyperspawns is a little bit too interactive for you, it's not AFK enough, then you can just get boosted. That's right, boosting is back, and it's gonna get way worse than ever now that mages can actually face tank every mob in an entire dungeon and infinitely heal themselves. The best dungeon to get boosted in right now is for Horde, and it is RFC. You can literally AFK at the entrance, and within a few minutes, one mage can one pull the entire dungeon, clear it out, and then go back and reset it. This will obviously cost you some gold if you aren't friends with the mage or aren't the mage doing it yourself. itself, but this is definitely the fastest way to level, and it is fully AFK. Now, I personally am not the biggest fan of boosting, but I'm usually even less of a fan of leveling. So even I might do it for some warriors and rogues, and any of the classes I'm really enjoying leveling, I will just follow the rested XP guide. So if you follow all of these tips in this video, you will absolutely make it to level 25 on your ult much faster than you could even think about. Or you could wait until phase 2 drops and there will be an experience boost for all characters leveling up to 25. So just know when you're leveling up more of your ults later on, things will get even easier, but you will use all these same strategies. And guys, thank you so much for all of the support. We are on our way towards 100,000 subs. We're trying to push for it eventually. So if you're not subbed, do it. I'm serious, do it. I'm looking at you. Sub to the channel. You can unsub once I'm at 100K if you want to. Sure. But either way, guys, I'll see you all on the next one.